Good morning, everybody. It's Sunday. I'm trying to get things done while it's convenient with the traffic being died down a little bit. Wanted to point out one of the reasons that I run the sit-down mowers with the double foot lift is we've got this giant elephant tree here. I think that's what it's called. Well, some people refer to it like that because the bark of it and stuff looks like a elephant's trunk in texture and such. But anyway, it spreads roots out that are, you can't tell it from the video, but they stick up a good deal. I mean, to the point where you know, I can just barely skim over them, a lot of them. I mean, this one here, that's up to my ankle, and it's clover, so if I mow it full transport, it's not going to look mowed at all. This side is St. Augustine, which that I could mow full transport and not have to feather the deck. But so when you're mowing and you got this scenario, that's where I like to use I may get a standard mower, but if I do, it's only going to be for bagging, and I'll just use the accelerator type side bag. So what I mean by double foot lift is this is one of the old 72s, and I weld on the extra thing there so that I can use both legs, because the 72-inch deck's not light even when I do the adjustments and stuff. So that gives me the ability, and I do, like I said in the other video, have an artificial knee, so my right leg, you know, it wears out if and you know, when you're lifting with just one side, your back hurts. People don't realize this. Everybody says, oh, sit down mowers hurt my back. Well, it could be because of the way that the foot lift is situated, because since I went to the double foot lift and I ride with my feet on there all the time, because I use them for when I emergency come up on something, that's the first thing that happens is I lift and I pull backwards on my sticks. You see, now I don't understand that, how guys with standers think they can do obstacle avoidance. I mean, now I know they've got a thing where you can use your foot, but then that takes away from stabilizing your torso. So if you come up on something suddenly and you reverse course quickly and try to raise the deck at the same time, you're going to throw your body off balance when you put your foot over to raise that pedal, or you're going to be standing there riding that pedal the whole time, which means you only have one foot for torso support and stability. I'm going to use my rear end until I find a better purpose for it to stabilize my torso, which also gives me a point-to-point type of measurement where I now have muscle memory built in. I know exactly how high my deck is based upon my seat position and the extension of my knees. So that's my opinion of it. Like I said, I don't understand how they're even mowing, because this scenario or scenarios like it, being roots or stumps or cypress knees or edges of concrete that are not at grade or whatever, it happens a million times a day. So how you all doing that with these standard mowers and getting any kind of quality of cut? I don't get it. I mean, unless you're just setting it, forgetting it, and just running over whatever comes up, I don't understand how you guys are getting any quality of cut. It's just my opinion, and like I said, I may end up getting one, and when I do, then I might find out what it's all about. But if I do, the reason for getting it will be only for bagging, so I won't have any other expectations of it. I'll be happy if I find that it can do other stuff, but man, I can't even tell you how many yards I would think would be excluded from my route if I had only standers. All right, well, I'm going to get back to it. Have a good one. So this one's done. There's the elephant tree. I just figured out another function on the gimbal. You hold that button, you can tilt it. Otherwise, it does the gyroscope. Anyway, this is what the budget is set for, and basically it's just mowing edging and burning out the beds, I usually do hard edge along this line, because with the slope that fills with dirt a lot. And then sometimes I just string edge on the beds. But while I'm walking on this one, showing you, it needs a lot more work, but the budget right now is not there for it. I wanted to talk more about that double foot lift. One thing it does is that when you sit in it with the double foot lift, it feels like you're sitting in one of those zero gravity chairs. It takes away that cockeyed position that you get with a single foot lift. And of course, that gets accentuated if you're on a side slope. Like say you're mowing and you're on a steep side slope that's pitched to the left, to your left arm. Then that pushes your rear and your body towards that side of the seat rest. And then what happens is then you don't have as much articulation on that lift. With having both feet, it's easier to stay with your back pressed into the back of the machine or into the seat. So for me that works. And I used to have some back issues that were initiated from other things, but when I went to the double foot lift, I do the shrubs too, but not every time, because it's just not in the budget. Oops, there's a piece of something I gotta pick up. But so I advocate that a lot, and I wish the manufacturers would do that. And I think there is one that's doing that with the two feet. And if you notice on mine, I stagger them, because if you're mowing real low lawns, then the one that's further forward might be more. I know that goes away from the issue of the equilibrium, but it doesn't make enough difference to give you that evenness on your back. But that helps with your back. But the reason I stagger them is, one, you might be using predominantly for when you're in low cut. This one would be, this one would be in use more predominantly with the low cuts. Then when you're high, then that one's going to be easier to reach. See, the manufacturers are doing this all wrong. People have so much trouble with turn burn, especially shorter guys on these new machines, because for them to reach the foot things, they had to move the seat forward, which moves the weight of the operator too far forward. You want these machines set up where their weight bias is such that they're almost like popping a wheelie all the freaking time. So you want to keep that weight of the operator where it's best for the performance of the machine, and instead make it adjustable. The pedal's adjustable. Don't move the operator, move the controls. And they do it for these controls. They're completely adjustable. So why did they stop short of doing the right thing and making the foot operation controls adjustable as well, so that you could keep what makes a zero turn, which is mostly aft balance, weight bias, for a lighter front end that can whip around with and then also, not to get too lengthy, I use these older machines because they're short. You know, they stretched out them decks a lot with the XR7 and VX4s, and I know why they did it and everything, but what it does is it makes the machine so long. And then also what I like about the older Hustlers is they got the motor clocked sideways, and that makes it a real pain when you're going to work on it. But on a daily basis, it means you have no tail swing. So I have a lot less chances of doing a turn and accidentally taking out a sprinkler that's sticking up, or one of the tall mass sprinklers, or an air conditioning unit, or bumping into somebody's car. Because with this shorter type setup, by the time my bumper is going to hit something, my head's nearly at it. You know what I mean? And I become aware. Some of these, where they clocked the motor, like the new Hustlers, and they started doing it with the Super Z Hyperdrive, and then they did it with the Super Z, and all the X Marks now, I think that are running the horizontal shaft motors, I think they're clocked the other way. Yeah, it's easier to service, I won't deny that, but you end up with more tail swing on them, and I prefer not to have damage claims, and I prefer to take some of these accidents out of operator control and make them so that by default these accidents don't happen, because my equipment is set up in such a way that it makes the accident almost unlikely. So because, you know, you get older, I'm getting older, and you know, one thing that older people have a problem with is backing cars up and stuff, and situational awareness and focus. So why even leave that as a potential problem? All right, I'm gonna finish this one up and head on to the next one. Have a good one. So I had to pull off of the lawn down here, but the choice is, you know, stay downtown and do one close that is a vacant lot, a vacant property that the people don't care when it's done, but do it now to save fuel because you're already here, or go and take care of a good customer, long-time customer that got pushed yesterday because of rain, and they're retirees, so they sit in their yard every time they look out the window. So I feel like I don't have a choice. I need to go take care of theirs because it's looking rainy again, and hope that I have enough time to work that other into a route down the line this week, so that I don't have to make the special trip to pick that last one up down there downtown. But that one I just did, I was going to get video and I didn't. I guess the lady gave up on trying to put me out of business. She didn't have any new rocks down today, and I got their schedule figured out where they go to church. So with it as tight as it is there, that's when I need to be hitting it. All right, I'm going to head on to the next one. We'll catch you later. Bye. Good afternoon. I'm back. I gambled and lost on that. I pulled off of that yard downtown, and it ended up not raining, so that leaves that one yard out there that will have to be picked up sometime when I'm in the area. So back to the house, and I got plenty to do here, so no big deal. I picked up a Hitchhiker on My Mower. He's dead. He froze up in that position. I think he got ran over by the tires because he didn't get chopped up, but he's got smushed, I think. So, all right, I guess I gotta get the shop back out and clean out the bobcat pan and grease it and get it ready for some other stuff. So I may have that on the end of today's video, or I may not. So it'll be one of the two. All right, you have a good one.